Okay, red commons. Number 5, another escalate card. Borrowed Hostility. 1 mana, you can give something +3/+0 or first strike. And if you pay the escalate costs of 3 generic, you can do both. So, I mean, you could just maybe throw it away for 1 and save a guy in combat. You could maybe trade up with something small against something big that you might not be able to beat.
Yeah.
But you could also do, I guess, like the Spiteful Motives card for 1 turn. I mean, +3/+0 and first strike. Both save the guy and kill something, I mean. So I like that you can do both. You could go all in aggro with it. You could save something in combat. You could do both.
Yeah, the escalate is
a bit expensive.
It's a bit expensive, but it's I guess it's fine.
It's probably pretty balanced. I mean, the card looks fine in aggro.
Yeah. And number 4, we have Brazen Wolves.
Yep.
3 mana, 2/3. But when it attacks, it gets +2/+0.
Aggressive card, but when you are attacking and, I mean, you are in a position to do so, this is very strong.
Yeah, the problem is that it's a 4/3, so it trades for all the 3/2s and stuff.
Yeah.
But still, for 3 mana,
you
if
could
you're
play
aggressive,
cheap removal spells and whatever and try to just run home with this and something else. It attacks for 4, which is good.
which is very good.
But it's not bonkers or anything.
No. But still, we have seen.
And it's a decent blocker. It still blocks a 2/2. So
Yeah, it's still a 2/3 for 3. So
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So number 3, we have a double-faced card, the Wildin Pack Outcast. It's 5 mana for a 4/4 trample, which is good, and it has a pump effect. It can pump +1, -1, but still pumping a trample guy is good.
Yes, yeah, because it has trample, so that you can set it up so you can pump this 3 times.
Yeah, you can pump it 3 times and
do some damage.
Even if they have a blocker, that might be the last damage that you need. And for 7, if that's not enough, for 7 mana you can transform into an Eldrazi werewolf. We're getting there. No, I mean the drone pack Kindred.
Yeah, still trample.
Yeah, now it's bigger. It's a 5/7, so now it doesn't die. And you pump it for generic, and it doesn't get smaller when you pump it.
Yeah.
So I mean, this if you get this to flip, you have the finisher.
Yeah, this is very good.
You can pump it 6 times.
It's pretty expensive,
Yeah,
but to flip it. But when you do,
if you need to, and it's alive so long, I mean, and you flip it, then you could attack for 11.
yeah, trample.
Yeah, so it looks like a good finisher.
Yep. And for number 2 on commons, red
commons,
we have Alchemist's Greeting. 5 mana to do 4 damage to target creature. That's a meh.
That's a bit clunky.
Yeah, because in Shadows over Innistrad we have a Throttle,
Yeah,
which was 5 mana minus
4 -4.
4,
And it was instant.
and that was instant, but it wasn't really good.
No, because but in the decks where, I mean, you could play it, you'd rather put cards like Rabid Bite, Sinister Concoction, whatever she was called, the Witch. I mean, cheaper stuff that killed stuff.
Yeah.
Basically.
But it's still fine. 5 mana, 4 damage, sure.
Yeah.
But this has the upside of Madness 2.
So then it's very cheap.
Yeah.
And I mean, now we're talking combining it with the vampire that could just discard this on turn 3 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if you can pay 2 for this, then it's very good.
Yeah, there are actually now 3 2-drop vampires, which has the ability to just discard a card.
Yes, and do something.
Yep.
So within the format. Are a lot of other. I mean, there are still the draw tormenting voices,
yeah.
and all those cards are still left. So in the right deck, this looks very good.
Madness for 2, very good.
Yes. And number 1, we have Galvanic Bombardment. It's 1 red for shock to creatures, basically. It's instant, you deal 2 damage plus the number of cards named Galvanic Bombardment in your graveyard. So just, I mean, if you get 4 of these, for example, you can just deal 2, then 3, then 4, then 5.
Yeah, if you have 11, you can kill Emrakul. No, because it's an instant.
No, it's an instant. You can't kill Emrakul with this, sadly. And 11 wouldn't have... Yeah, it would. Yeah. But it doesn't work.
But it's still very good. Just having 1 is fine. Having
1
2
is fine, and if you can get... I mean, getting 3 is not impossible.
No,
and
I guess it's hard.
Every time it stacks, it just gets better and better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty easy.
And now we will move on to the uncommons.
Uncommon.
Okay, number 3, red uncommons. We have the Smouldering werewolf. So 4 mana for a 3/2. That's not good.
No.
But when it enters the battlefield, it pings 2 creatures.
Yeah, so 1 damage to up to 2 target creatures.
Yeah.
It can also transform.
Yeah, when it transforms, it turns into erupting werewolf.
Costs 6 mana to do it.
Then it's a 6/4. And it says whenever it attacks, you can deal 2 damage to target creature or player.
And that's good. Now you can even, because now you can even shoot player. And this card, I mean, you can you can attack with, I mean, say you have 2 2/2s, attack into like 2 3s, for example,
yeah,
just to give an example.
Yeah.
And they just block, and you can play this second main and kill off what's left.
Yeah, and
so,
there will still be flying 1/1 spirits.
Yeah.
And random
everything
3
with
1s and 2
toughness can
1s.
obviously die, but you could also be smart and play this second main after a weird combat or whatever.
Yeah.
So it looks like a cool card. Yep. Number 2, we have Savage Alliance. It's 2 and a red for an instant, and you can choose 1 mode from the following. You could... it can deal 1 damage to each creature target opponent controls, which is like, I mean, maybe they have a lot of tokens or whatever. Or it can deal 2 damage to 1 creature, which is fine. Or all creatures that target player controls gain trample.
Yeah.
And the escalate cost here is just 1, so
Yeah,
that's why it's easy to combine. Maybe first you ping everything 1, and then you shoot off something that did not die, and maybe you can also give your creatures trample and then just rumble with everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just like that it's cheap to escalate, and it adds up.
And 3 mana to do 2 damage to a creature.
Worst case
worst
is
case.
like Geist Blast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a pretty low floor.
Yeah.
High floor, I mean.
High floor.
Yeah, pretty high floor, yeah. So, moving
to the number 1 on our list of red uncommons in Eldritch Moon.
Yep.
Incendiary Flow. 2 mana sorcery deals 3 damage to target creature or player. And if a creature dealt damage this way would die, exile it.
Yeah. Because there was a card that cost 3 mana in...
in Battle for Zendikar.
Battle for Zendikar that also exiled.
Touch of the Void.
Touch of the Void. And that card was very good.
Yeah, and this is actually... That was instant.
I think it was instant. No, maybe it was sorcery.
I think it was sorcery. So
yeah, it was sorcery.
Yeah,
so this is just straight up cheaper.
Yep.
So it's a good card.
It's a good card, and I guess just that you can do it to a player makes this a little bit better. You can just burn the last 3 damage or something.
Yeah, that's good. So we move on now to green, I guess.
Yeah, last color